head in to Game 3 of the semi-finals of Grand Prix Indianapolis 2012. Hello everyone, welcome to Game 3 of the semi-finals of Grand Prix Indianapolis 2012. The format is legacy constructed. It's 1-1 between Tom Martell. There you see that man, he has been almost unbeatable all weekend long. And there you see Dan Jordan. So these two have been going at it for a while all sorts of fun and frolics have been going on the other table. Dan Jordan is in his first Grand Prix top 8, playing Maverick. Plenty of track record though, top 16 of Pro Tour Amsterdam in 2010, top 16 just last month, Pro Tour Honolulu 2012. On the other side, Tom Martell, the runner-up from Grand Prix Columbus 2010 in Legacy, 7th at Pro Tour Paris 2011, losing to Ben Stark, the eventual winner. At that event, he has 3 Pro Tour top 32s, very connected to all the best pros in the game, and went undefeated yesterday, felt he had the best deck in the room. Sheldon, the matchup. What are we going to see in this deciding Game 3?
So, Tom Martell, obviously his Esper deck. Dan Jordan, Maverick, as it's so called. Mm-hmm. Have we ever gotten to the root of the name of the Maverick? Anyway,
no.
I think it's one of those, there's 9 different stories on how it came.
Yep.
Green-white guys. And it's become a relatively popular deck.
Very.
Which is where the High Tide decks came from, because it's a really good High Tide matchup.
Yep.
And when Maverick started getting some groundswell of support, that's when we saw the High Tide decks come out. And if you guys have mentioned, hey, look, that's it's a good meta game choice here. You have actually. Do you have Dan Jordan's? No, I have Dan Jordan's deck list right here.
That's handy.
Just good value cards like Qasali Pride Mage, Stoneforge Mystic, Scavenging Ooze, Thalia, which could be very important in this matchup. We saw Tom Martell play around with Thalia in the last round.
Tell you what, for all we've seen Tom this weekend, haven't seen Dark Blast yet from him. Now we do. Noble Hierarch, go away.
Bolt the bird.
Yeah. Dark Blast is really, really good.
There's the Stoneforge Mystic from Dan Jordan. He is either going to get Sword of Light and Shadow or Sword of Body and Mind. I would imagine it's Light and Shadow against Tom Martell. Also has Umezawa's Jite in his library.
Light and Shadow.
Seems like the obvious choice, protecting him from 2 of 3 of Tom's colors. Mother Runes, we've already seen the Noble Hierarch. Tom's also got to look out for the 4 Wastelands that Dan's running. Dan's curve is relatively low. Mm-hmm. He can afford those.
Yeah, the downside of of losing the mana is offset by the ability of the disruption. Martell brainstorms.
See a Stoneforge Mystic of his own in his hand. Didn't quite see what he put back there. There's Fetch Land, he's going to crack it.
So whatever it was, didn't really want them.
Oh, he did.
Well, he wanted 1, but then they'll fly the strand. So, Inquisition of Kozilek says, there's a Scavenging Ooze, there's a Noble Hierarch, there's a Forest, and there's the sword that you already knew I just got.
Be a little easier to maybe plot out what Tom's going to take here if we could see the rest of his hand. He's shuffling up pretty good.
Well, presumably not the Hierarch, since there's a Dark Blast sitting there, readily available.
got a Snapcaster Mage, which lends a little credence to the Dark Blast.
Yeah, but with Dredge, just gets it back. So, should you wish to. And that works nicely with Lingering Souls as well. So
Yes.
It's the sword that goes away. Yeah, the Noble Hierarch, just he can deal with it at the expense of just exchanging a draw step for Dredge.
Yeah, the Sword of Body and Mind is really dangerous for him. It neutralizes some of his removal, and it gets through his guys.
So Caster will offer up the Noble Hierarch, as it were. And then Scavenging Ooze. So, yeah, so what he's trying to do here is ensure... Oh, force... Yeah, that's awkward. Because Caster's leaving himself trying to put up 2 targets for the Dark Blast, if you like, and hoping to see the Scavenging Ooze or the Hierarch live. Right now, Martell is trying to decide, am I going to Dredge? Yes, I absolutely am. So the force of will for the Scavenging Ooze was a really big deal.
There's the Perish that we saw him use to such great effect in the previous game.
Dark Blast, send Noble Hierarch away, cast a Stoneforge Mystic. That force of will was a big, big play.
Yeah, another really big swing in a Tom Martell game. You know, we declared him with his back up against the wall in the previous game. So, Batterskull or GT, pretty quick decision of grabbing the Batterskull.
A blank draw for Dan. Not literally, but it's a land.
I mean, I got to tell you, all the Magic that we watched Tom Martell play this weekend, he's played pretty masterfully.
Yes, it's something I've not said. I've kind of bitten my tongue when you talked about Tom as a great Magic player, because he is not in my great file, if you will, at this stage. But having said that, but not least because Kai and John and Paolo and LSV and Brian Kibler are in my great box, and I know that you are not putting Tom in that category. But the reason I haven't said anything is because every time we're watching him and it comes up, I'm thinking he's really pretty good. He really is pretty good.
Yeah, I think he's a highly analytical guy.
Yeah.
He's obviously not going to attack, so he can activate Stoneforge Mystic at the end of Dan's turn, or if Dan is unwise enough to attack himself.
Yeah, I can't imagine that from Dan at this. Well, that really is a fatigue play if that happens.
It would be sort of the autonomic. Oh.
So there's Batterskull. Yeah, so just show you the manner how that would have worked.
So we see Vindicate in Tom's hand and
another Stoneforge.
Stoneforge Mystic, which obviously comes down for Umezawa's Jitte.
Yeah. Smash.
There's the Batterskull. The Germ token, actually. It's not the Batterskull itself coming in,
no,
but the Germ token.
Much room for tokens in Commander?
Yes.
Oh, is that a big thing?
Oh, tokens are huge. Avenger of Zendikar
right.
is certainly one of the really, really popular cards. But there are tokens everywhere. Tokens of all stripe. Card that has recently gotten a lot of play is Sever the Bloodline because of that.
Yeah. All of them.
All of them.
Go away. And all of them again.
Right.
So comfortably advantage Martell right now. Looks like an Umezawa's Jitte in Dan Jordan's hand. Has one in his main deck. And he plays it. And Martell will look. And as we know, he's about to say yes, because he can say nothing else. Equip. Yeah, you get to do that too. And then Reach Out with the Wasteland. Vindicate, as we know, is a sorcery. But the bad news for Dan is that Tom does have Vindicate. He draws. It's land number 4, replacing the one just gone.
Dan obviously planning on holding off because of the Jete and its combat damage, getting it some counters, holding off the Batterskull. He's going to get a Rude Awakening here momentarily.
Stoneforge Mystic. Oh, no. No? That was 99% of the way down.
So
okay, so he simply goes Jitty.
Right, he just wanted to
legendary of them away. Wasteland again. Yes. Those are very passive hands on the table from Dan Jordan.
Yes, rough.
Yeah, just waiting to trigger some impulses into the handshake momentarily.
Yeah.
Tom Martell. Children of all ages.
Looks like he's going through to the finals.
Piling in. Dan Jordan.
There's a choke. It's not going to do Dan a lot of good.
No. Vindicate.
There's the handshake.
Kill you. Tom Martell is through to the final of Grand Prix Indianapolis 2012. And now he's as far as he's ever been. He's in the final of a Grand Prix once again. It's the final of a legacy Grand Prix once again, 2 years after his breakout performance in Columbus. At 7-0, he said, I think I have it. He felt he had the winning 75 in his deck mods. Felt more or less invincible.
And we haven't even seen the Lingering Souls in the top 8.
On the top 8, not at all.
Obviously, the play around which that entire game wheeled was the Force of Will.
Yeah.
He has it.
Yeah, absolutely huge. And that is the tale of the tape in the semi